Fake it till you make it. Let's go.
Fake it till you make it.
Yep.
Man, I don't want to live on this planet anymore. You see all the shit that's been going on?
Save it for the podcast. Save it for the podcast.
The podcast has started.
Oh, it started already?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I don't know, because you normally give an introduction.
This is the introduction. I'm supposed to be happy about the state of America presently. Welcome to another episode, issue, the video. I don't even know anymore.
Of the podcast.
Earth 718. We are here to talk about some stuff and things that I think everyone will enjoy.
Yes, because we love to talk about racism.
We love to talk about racism, apparently.
Yeah.
Today's episode, we are going to talk about just diversity in comic books and why it's important, even though many people would disagree, I guess, with the current state of our country. Anything that tackles along that, just the importance of having characters that represent multiple people, not just a superior one.
Are they really superior?
Not really. I'm just, throwing the salt around, but some would say that. But I think it is important for us to just talk about the fact that we do need more characters to represent everyone, because, there are a lot of kids out there that need someone to.
The country is changing.
And the country is changing.
becoming more diverse.
So going off of that, let's just talk about some of our favorite diverse characters as of now, I guess.
I think you're forgetting one thing.
Oh, shit, yeah. The
Thank you.
panel. Thank you. This is why you don't drink, because things happen.
Or things don't happen.
Let's introduce the panel for today. If you guys want to go in a circle and introduce yourselves, though I'm sure everyone already knows your voices at this point.
Oh, that alright. Oh, Nico. Yo,
it's Sterling.
Yo, Suzaku.
I'm the host. I'm here today. I do things.
He's the quote-unquote host who's extremely hungover right now.
Hey, man.
Sipping that water, man.
Sometimes you just need to do what you gotta do, and what I did was clearly a wrong choice.
And we got one more thing to do.
Thing to do.
That's going to be a wrong choice for you as well.
Alright.
Your night never ended, sir.
My watch isn't over. Alright. So I'm going to pass these shots around so we get this ball rolling, and I could hate myself some more. If I throw this up, this is on the record forever.
Yeah.
I won't be able to ever get a job because of you.
Why not?
Because I'm currently going to throw up. Who's our sponsor today?
More powerful people did way worse.
That's true. Who's our sponsor for today?
Well, we don't have a sponsor, but we're drinking Jaeger.
Yes, our sponsors today are Jaeger. Thank you for your service.
Smart water.
And Smart Water.
They're not sponsors.
If you're going to drink it, make sure it's smart. There we
And
go.
sparkling.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Okay. See, this is the reason why you're not in
Sparkling
marketing.
comes in that huge ass bottle, and it's pretty good deal.
And if the way with the Jaeger, we didn't say the Jaeger phrase. I got it. Drink Jaeger because it's the bomb. There we go.
Okay.
Damn,
I guess
son.
that works. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Words. Cheers.
Fuck my life. Ugh. That was not good.
It's medicine.
That was bad.
This is medicine.
All right.
Hair of the dog, bro.
Man up. God.
This is going to be a hard one.
Oh.
All right. Diverse characters. Okay.
One of those.
For the sake of discussing diverse characters, let's open it up to just. The fuck was that? All right, continue. There's man, that door just blew my everything. All right, let's start. Just talk about some of our favorite diverse characters, spanning from. Let's start from DC. Who would you say is your favorite DC character that's of a diverse nationality or origin? Anyone?
From DC?
From DC.
Even though I guess he is now. He's a actual DC hero now, but at the time he wasn't. Static Shock. Okay, he was an original cartoon. He was a cartoon character first, and he was in comics. But
Oh my god, I want Static Shock to come back.
the Static Shock, I think
He's going to be part of Young Justice Season 3.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Which is going to be really good.
So I mean, and there was an episode, right, of Static, where like his friend,
Richie.
that his father was racist or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think we talked about this.
No, we haven't.
Yeah.
He's a really.
Didn't
that's a
James
really
Smith
good
want to
role.
play Static Shock at one point?
Yeah, he could keep dreaming on that one.
No, remember he's Batman.
He's Batman.
He's Batman.
Batman.
He's Batman.
Yeah, I think Static Shock's like probably the prime example from DC. I mean,
Mhm.
you can obviously argue that Superman himself is a diverse character. He's an alien, so you know,
And Earth 2 Superman black.
he's like Mexican or
I
something.
think he was black. He has like the sky blue suit with like the white cape.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, yeah,
There's
yeah.
also the Mexican one.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Whose son was he? Wasn't he fucking Zod's son or something?
I know there is a story like that. Yes, I think you're right. Yes,
That's very cool. That's pretty cool. I mean, I guess he wasn't really Mexican. He was just raised by Mexicans.
something like
But that's at least some form of diversity, all right?
that.
Yeah, I think those are two really good examples.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think of more DC. I mean, obviously Green Lantern.
Yeah.
You know, John Stewart,
Stewart.
clearly. You know, even the newest Green Lantern, the Muslim guy.
Yeah, I don't know his name.
Yeah, I forget his name too.
I'm so unaware of Green Lanterns and everything.
There's so many Green Lanterns.
They really are.
Yeah. Like, if any of the DC heroes, I think I follow Green Lantern the least. But,
That's a lot of work.
Space Ghost was great. The Green Lantern Space Ghost was awesome.
Mhm.
It's like them using each other's abilities.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Mhm.
Marvel. I mean, I guess anyone think of.
I thought we were still on DC. Or are you going to go Marvel?
Oh no, we'll hop around.
Yeah, well, Marvel, you got Miles Morales.
Miles
He's
Morales.
probably the most important one right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most relevant,
Mm-hmm.
considering he's becoming like a really big pop-like character now.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he's everything.
He's a major character in Secret Empire. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyone else? Who else?
Uh,
Asian Hulk.
Yeah. What's his name? Alex Cho? What's his name?
That sounds like that's right.
That sounds like it's right.
Yeah.
My
Well,
vocabulary.
Obviously, I mean, if you just go by the Avengers movie, you have Falcon,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
right? Sam
Falcon's
Jackson, Fury. I don't know. Even though Fury's all over the place. So
Yeah.
Luke.
Right,
That's
so
Cage. Yeah.
Cage, yeah.
Yeah.
Luke Cage, yes.
Yes.
as a Defenders.
If it wasn't for the show, he wouldn't be as big as he is now.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Amazing show.
And the timing is perfect.
Oh yeah, definitely. And all the symbolism and the imagery of the bullet holes in his shirt.
Yeah.
Now, why is Luke Cage so important right now? I mean,
Because racism.
but what's happening in the world? I mean, I don't know. For all I know, this episode could have been made like
it'd
5
be-
years ago.
It'd be pretty sad if the people. No offense to our listeners, but if you're listening to this podcast and you still don't know what's going on in the world, priorities, man.
Priorities. I mean, let's just. We have some examples, I think, that are pretty big, and thing is, a significant amount of the ones that we mentioned are African American.
Yes.
And what's going on nowadays?
I mean, it's
Racism.
a lot of discrimination.
Not really discrimination, it's more of like a rise of this really dangerous rhetoric of like, white nationalism.
Yes.
And kind of like, not really borderline, but there are like, different freaking sects of these like wild, kind of, what's the right word for this? Like these like lunatic fringe groups. You got like the neo-Nazis, you got the KKK, the alt-right.
All right. Mm.
But like, the alt-right, I think that's... At first it was just like fucking trolls, now it's just like, it just spun into something
Yeah.
that's completely different.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it's because of that rhetoric that's coming in, and like, you got all these comic books that kind of depicts
They feel
these like, these groups, or like these groups take on like the images on comic books. Like you got some guys from like the white nationalists wearing Hydra shirts, which is like crazy. I was like, what the fuck?
And these groups now feel empowered, so they feel like they can actually come out.
Yeah, because like,
But in a
Trump,
way, if
pretty
you-
much Trump was like, I said these things,
Yeah.
and like me being
Yeah.
silent means like you can like say whatever
Yeah.
you want.
But in a way, if you want to pull up, it's the silver lining. It's kind of a good thing because like that shows okay, there is still racism is still a significant issue in America, and even though maybe like during, well, I was saying even during the Obama era, there was it came up, but I don't think it was this bad. But the shows was like, yeah, people still have these violent, tendencies toward people that are not like them.
That's true. Yeah. I feel like this show might as well change the name to fucking what did Trump do this week? Because like, I feel
essentially,
I feel like he's constantly being talked about.
new day, new controversy.
it's like every week now. But
Yeah.
I think it's important for us to have conversations about diversity and everything, just because there's so much. It's like civil wars are kind of just getting ready to start.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of tension. A lot of people
Yeah,
are angry.
I feel like-
Speaking of which, there was an interesting article in the New Yorker, I think 2 or 3 days ago, right? That they asked this expert, I think he was in the United States military, and then he started working for the UN, and his job was to predict the probability of a civil war breaking out in other countries. This we did professionally for the UN, and I don't know who asked him this. I'm not sure it was somebody in the government or a third party. I don't know, but someone asked him, with the things that are going on right now in this country, in his professional opinion, what's the probability of having a second civil war in the next 10 to 15 years? And he said 65%. But they asked 4 more experts, and their answers varied from 5% to 95%. So they took those 5 answers and got the mean, the average, and it came out to 35%. So according to the 5 experts, in the next 10 to 15 years, we had 35% chance of having a second civil war.
Which is really high.
I don't really
That's-
think it's really bound to happen because, like, before it was more like, you know, these states want to succeed from the Union on several issues. One of them being like slavery, which is like kind of like a hot one when they fucking drafted up like their own like, you know, like Declaration of Independence type shit.
Yeah.
But I don't think these fringe, you know, like groups are tied to a fucking state.
You know, and that's what he said. He said that if a civil war, quote unquote, another civil war goes down, he said it won't be nothing on the scale of the previous civil war, but it'll be like small battles here and there. You know, not necessarily from states, but from 2 groups.
I mean, look at Charlottesville.
Yeah.
That was the first battle, technically, of the modern Civil War.
And it's just crazy that the person to die from that was a white woman.
Yeah, exactly. So the white supremacists killed a white woman.
Because
It's just like the way Nazis are. They killed Jews whether they were German or not.
That's true.
I mean, think about the effect that would have been had they killed a black person.
Oh man.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Think about what would have happened. It would have been so
That
bad. I
would-
mean, not to say that like that diminishes what
Yeah,
did happen.
yeah.
But
I think they would have been more emboldened. This one was like they're like, oh, like half of them were like, oh shit. The other half were like,
Yeah, she
the
was.
crazier ones were like,
Okay.
yeah, fuck her.
Take that W.
Yeah.
She was a liberal. Fuck her.
Yeah. No. Oh no, but no.
if it was a black person, they'd be like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No.
Purged and
No, but the thing is, like, their main chant was like about like Jewish people, like Jews won't replace us. I'm
Yeah.
like, what are they?
Yeah.
I'm
So-
like,
Wait,
wow.
So-
was it confirmed if she was Jewish or not?
No.
Oh, she wasn't until then. Yeah.
no, but the thing is, like,
They were
like,
chanting that before during the torch rally.
yeah.
No, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like, had she been
Oh,
a white
oh,
Jew,
oh.
and they
I'm
would
like-
they
I'm-
would have probably taken that.
But I'm like, is this
bigger.
really still like something they're harping on? Like, really?
Yeah.
So apparently World War II never ended, and apparently the Civil War never ended either. So here we are.
Also, when was it around to not punch Nazi? You know,
That's right. And this whole thing about like, oh, the anti-fascists, like, you're supposed to be. Like, we
Yeah.
had a world war about this. Like,
We went to war
anti-fascist means that you're just a normal human being.
also these guys like started rallying because they were like talking about like the statue of like Robert E. Lee being taken down. It wasn't really about the fucking statue.
No.
It was more like they felt emboldened and they're
Yeah.
like, all right, we're gonna fucking
Yeah.
march and like do all this shit because we can.
Yeah. Yeah, and to talk about the statues, like, in Trump saying, like, all these beautiful monuments of our country's history, I'm like, does he not understand that these statues are traitors? They're not national heroes. They
Yeah.
succeeded. They fought against the United States of America. So it's like, these are
That's why it's
traitors
a
to the
different
country.
flag.
You know,
Yeah.
even Robert E. Lee said like he doesn't want a fucking
He
statue.
didn't want it.
He
He
didn't want a
didn't.
statue of
No.
himself being
No.
erected. He's like, I just want this to be in the history books. That's it. Let's just heal over this. We
Mhm.
did a lot of bad shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we should have never seceded. Let's just be bygones like
Now
be
this
bygones.
brings the topic of like if you forget history, you're more about to repeat it.
The thing is, like, people
So
don't
like
read
that
books.
that's their argument that they're using.
Yeah.
Like, oh, if you destroy
No,
the
but you're not.
statues-
You're removing them.
Yes.
You put them in the museum. You're not taking away the Civil War.
But don't make
what
it a
happened
public
from-
figure, you know. Like,
Yeah,
even
it's still going to
museums
be in
have-
the history books.
Museums still have symbols of the swastika. and
Well, of
stuff
course,
like that
because
they have
that's
to remind
that's
people, right?
history. Yeah, exactly. That's history. You have
you
to
know, like
yeah.
the motto of like Civil War. I mean, like the World War II is like never forget.
Exactly. Yeah.
This is
So
crazy.
comic books.
Yeah, it's this.
No, I
let's
mean,
bring this
but
back.
it is relevant because I mean, Secret Empire happened, is happening
Yeah,
before this.
yeah.
Like
Captain America's a Nazi.
this I mean, yeah, Trump was president, but when it started, but
You heard what's going on with that though? I read something that they're starting to backtrack. Remember I told you they're gonna puss out?
Yeah.
Well, apparently now the real Steve Rogers is in another universe, another dimension, trying to find his way back. Like, well, we all knew this was happening.
That took some time.
Yeah.
It took no time at all, actually.
Yeah, so I'm
I'm
like,
pretty sure when they started writing this, they didn't expect any of these events to happen.
yeah,
But yeah,
Like,
that's the thing, though. They didn't
Because
anticipate
like they
it.
don't want to like kind of like embolden other people that would like read this and like take it as Bible. Like, oh shit, Captain America's a Nazi. Hell yeah, this fucking
Yeah.
makes me justified.
So Captain
Unless-
America, the Nazi, he's been everyone's hero since day one.
Yeah.
America is a
Unless-
Nazi nation.
Unless Nick Spencer knew this was going to happen all along because he can see the future. So he's like,
Prediction.
we're going to make it so it comes together. That just sounds bad, though, because if he could see the future, he probably could have prevented it.
I'm saying if he can see the future, what is he doing? Clearly, he's wasting his talents on comic books.
Yeah, that's
He
true.
should be saving the world.
That's
No,
facts.
man, maybe he's warning us. These comics are things that
One-
he sees happen.
One page at a
One
time.
page at a time. It's great. It's like Heroes.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
No Hero Nakamura though.
Not the H word. Not the H word.
But yes.
That's your word.
Diversity in comics. It's fucking loud, bottle. Yeah, how do we think the diversity in comics is going to be affected by this? Like, do you think the rise of all of these alt-right, Nazi, neos, neo,
I mean,
whatever,
yeah,
how-
we had this talk before, and how the more these events take place, and the more they make mainstream media, it's like comic books are definitely going to feed off of this because A, it's a good story, and B, it sells comics.
It's true.
You know, the more you see the comic book world pretty much relating to what's going on in the real world, more people are going to want to read it because they're going to want to see an alternate reality of what's going on right now.
And also, it's kind of like a mirror of like our society as a whole. You can even see like in past like comic book, you know, like you got Green Arrow, or was it Green Lantern, Green Arrow, or no, it was like Green Arrow and
I think it was the Green Lantern.
where like one of them was like racist and like he was like pretty much like the other guy was like showing him like how racist he was and he's like, no, I'm not. Yeah, it was like yeah, it was back in like the early late 90s. Yeah, it was like that kind of like arc.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, I remember reading that a while back. I was like, oh shit. And like, you know, comic books are never afraid to shy from like current events or like
Oh no,
kinda,
of
like,
course. I mean, they had in one episode, one issue. I think it was of Green Arrow that was Speedy was a heroin addict or whatever.
Yeah.
because of
Yeah.
the epidemic during like the 80s and stuff like that. So yeah, clearly they're not. You know.
Cloak and Dagger with
Yeah.
the whole drug
Yeah.
use. And yeah, that's a can't believe I didn't think about that. But Cloak and Dagger are also another great example of like diversity in comics. They're literally the plot of their story is he's black, she's white, and they work together.
Yeah.
And their origins are very different in the sense that Cloak, his reason for running away to New York was because he witnessed his best friend he witnessed a man get shot in a store, and the police accused him of doing it because they saw a young black teen stand in front of the store, and they were like, "What did you do?" His friend gets gunned down, and he like runs away. I mixed that up a bit. They see a store get robbed, and a cop shoots his friend because you know
Yeah.
thought that he did it. Whereas Dagger's story is that she like didn't feel like she was loved at home. Like she legitimately just felt like she was not welcome where she was. Like no one cared, so she left. It's very different.
Oh yeah.
But also very similar to what one would expect from the origins of two people like that. That being said, so obviously the impact of diversity in comics is growing, regardless of whether people want it to or not. It's constantly changing.
Yep.
Mostly because instead of just representing one culture, comics are now representing the mixing pot that we live in.
Oh yeah. I mean, comics is probably like in the 40s and 50s they were just United States, but now it's like everybody knows who these characters are. Everybody loves them. Like Spider-Man is huge in India.
Yeah.
They love Spider-Man. So it's like everybody knows who Batman is, Superman, Spider-Man. They know everybody in the world knows these characters and they love these characters. So you have to try to figure out a way to appeal to everybody. You know.
So what do we think that's going to look like in a post-Trump world in 2 years? how do we think
2 years.
diversity?
Let's go 2018. I doubt he makes it.
2018?
I doubt he makes it 2018.
Hey, look, I've accepted at this point that he's going to be in office for some time. I mean, I don't like it, but look, I'm just being real. The way things are looking, he could be here for the next 3 years.
I mean, legally, yes. But I don't think so. I think he's going to resign, but then again, there's a comic podcast, not politics.
But what do we think is going to happen to diversity of just entertainment as a whole, comics especially? Do we think that it's going to there's going to be like a war, so to say, in which we're going to have more diversity as our way of saying "fuck you"? We're going to do what we want, or do you think it's going to take a big hit?
No, I don't think it's a big hit because like it's already on its way to being diverse because they're starting to see that diversity kind of helps sales, and also like there are a lot more people coming into like the comic world, either going into DC or Marvel, or going in self-publishing and independent like publishers, putting out these stories because a lot of these stories do sell, and there are a lot more people that are minorities, that come in as like a story creator or like an artist and just make these stories happen. And you see now, especially in like movies and TV, like look at Girls Trip. That movie they didn't expect it to make a lot of money, and like it was one of like the highest grossing comedies this year.
Mm-hmm. And what was the white version of that movie that came out earlier? With Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah. That one, I forgot what it was called. It was supposed to be like The Hangover.
It's pretty much the women's hangover movie.
But it had Maya Rudolph, right?
And it bombed.
Kind of bombed.
Completely bombed. And the week that this movie came out, Girl Trip came out, that whole weekend, once the numbers came out, it became a huge headline. Like everybody was just talking like, Girls Trip made this much money, while the other movie with the white girls bombed. Yeah, diversity is winning, etc., etc. Like make more of movies.
No, it wasn't really like diversity. It's just like that team. They had a story. It was a good story, and it fucking made money.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. Like that's how, look at it. That's how, that's how people were not looking at it.
Yeah.
A lot of people were looking at it as a black-white thing, whereas like you see, black is better, so let's stop hating on the blacks and etc. etc. Like that's all I saw on my feed.
Like Get Out was like the most profitable movie of this year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like more of these stories. You got to give them chances. You gotta let these people, these creators, rock and let them do their thing because like it's gonna. It's gonna hit because these people like see themselves in it, and they're gonna fucking start spending.
Yeah.
That's how Medea keeps making movies.
That's true.
Well, Tyler Perry had a fucking following long ago.
Yeah.
Like his plays.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he had fucking plays. He wrote plays.
Yeah, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
Seeing him in Gone Girl was like a major.
No, seeing him in Star Trek.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit, that's right.
That's right. Yeah,
that's true.
Hey, the man works hard. He deserves every ounce of success he has.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a lot of ounces. Yes, so many ounces of
A lot of ounces.
Fuck, I had a thing in my head and I lost it. Spaced out mentally.
But like, I think my point was a little convoluted. But my point is that demographics are changing. There's a lot more, like like people of color out there that are succeeding and like are buying things that they want to see.
Yeah,
and that's what it is. And like even like you don't have to be a person of color to enjoy these stories. You can like pick it up and like, all right, I understand this person, where this person comes from, and I like the story, and I just keep going with it. And that's why hip hop now is took over rock and roll as like the top genre of music.
Yeah, and now you got Japanese artists doing hip hop and Korean and Chinese, and everybody loves hip hop.
And then you got Marvel mixing in with the covers, like
doing exactly.
Covers.
So for something that was so controversial during like the 80s, and it was like, oh, it causes violence in teens and minority kids, blah blah blah. It's like, well, now it's part of the culture, and it's like all these artists that were at one point were deemed dangerous to kids, whether it be a Biggie or Pac or there's others.
The thing is, like, they never took the time to listen to the lyrics, and that's what it is.
Yeah, I mean that's the problem. They just and I can understand to a point because the videos, especially like the late '80s and the '90s music videos, they did pick violence, but it's because like it's what was really going on in these neighborhoods that these artists grew up in. So they were just showing the world like what they've seen, you know, or what they know.
Like
you know?
It wasn't fucking happy-go-lucky type situation, but I'm pretty sure now some rappers come from a happy-go-lucky situation, but they kind of like downplay it to like tell these like crazy stories.
Yeah.
But most of them talk about partying and like taking drugs.
Nowadays,
Yeah.
they feel like the message is gone.
So,
Shout out Lil Pump.
speaking of hip hop and diversity and how that comes in play, let's talk about Luke Cage.
Yeah.
If you would ask me 5 years ago that Luke Cage was gonna, let's go 7 years, let's go 10 years ago. You would ask me 10 years ago that Luke Cage was gonna have his own fucking show, and it was gonna be a very successful
I
show.
thought you crazy as hell.
Yeah, damn fool.
Yeah.
So, I mean, do we think more of that's gonna happen? I mean, with like Black Lightning happening, with Static Shock being reintroduced into Young Justice.
If it's done right, like out of the 4 defenders, you know, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, I had the lowest expectations I had was for Luke Cage. Cause like, this is gonna suck. You might as well pair him up with Iron Fist and do the Heroes for Hire.
That's right.
There's a story there, but to me, Daredevil took 4 episodes to get going. Cool. Jessica Jones to me took 6. Luke Cage, episode 1 got me.
Yeah.
And it right away, and I was like, holy shit, this is actually really good.
Iron Fist, we're still waiting for that to get good.
Yeah, Iron Fist is still, even though in Defenders, he's better. He's way better.
Yeah,
in
but
Defenders.
also I read it. I've only seen 20 minutes of it because I tried earlier today and was too hungover to watch anything. But from what I read in an article, they were saying that though he is better, he is still the 1/4 of the show that is like
He's still
lacking.
the weakest link in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, I'm only about 2 episodes in so far, and in those 2 episodes, Murdoch's part, Daredevil's part, I was like, okay, cool. I see that he's getting his shit done as a lawyer. Luke Cage out of prison, and he's just catching up. They kept the whole vibe from the
Spoilers.
show.
Hey,
Spoilers, just in case.
Spoilers.
Yeah, I'm only
Spoilers.
20 minutes in.
Spoilers. Spoilers.
Man, you knew this was happening.
Spoilers.
Well, yeah. No, it's crazy because I was taking alcohol shit earlier today and was watching a video that kind of updated on where all of them have been. Just because I mean, I kind of forgot where Jessica Jones.
Oh yeah, it's been a while.
I forgot where Luke Cage went back in. I forgot what Daredevil did because that feels like fucking years ago we saw season 2.
Was that last year?
I think so.
I think it was last year.
But yeah, it was nice to just like get a little update on what they're all doing because now I can go into watching it and be like, hey, this is all cool and shit.
But to go back to your point, I think there will be more diverse heroes making their debut either on the silver screen or on the movies. Right? What's the silver screen? TV? Oh, that's
Silver
movies.
screen's movies.
Okay, my bad. So so regardless, I keep it simple: TV or in the movie theaters. So because like what you got, what's coming out next? Like
Black Panther, dog.
there you go, Black Panther.
Black Panther.
And the trailer is awesome.
Oh my
That's
God.
true. So that was a stupid question for you.
Every
I
number on the
fucking know
on the
what's going
haircut chart represented.
My next question then, because that was a dumb question for me to ask considering Black Panther's coming out. Like, of course, shit's getting big. But what does this mean for the representation of, like, sexual orientation, religion, the diversity on those scopes? Like, are we going to see a lot more of characters like that? Are we going to see representation of
I think we have.
Religion is a little tricky.
Yeah.
Because
I mean,
people get very offended.
I mean, they might not have like a character in terms of I'm Catholic man, but they might bring it into play that okay, like Daredevil is he's Catholic, and that's essential to his character.
Yeah, but that's like, who cares? Like, we fucking see that. I
No,
can
no,
look at any movie that takes place in fucking Boston, and we're gonna have Catholics.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like they might do the same thing with like, or you might have a Muslim, like but a Muslim hero, but that shows alright. Like he is a devout Muslim. He does pray. What is it? 5 times a day.
Mm-hmm.
5 times a day, and you do show that. That's not his superhero persona. That's just him real life. But so in his real life identity, he is a devout Muslim. He goes to the mosque. He does ABC. I'm not sure what the tradition and customs of that particular religion, but he follows it. He adheres to it. But then he becomes whatever his superhero name is, at nighttime. So
I mean, we have examples of it in comics, so it's not like you can hide it. Like Miss Marvel is Muslim. You can't hide that.
Oh, the new one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
She's-
yeah.
so you can't
Oh
have
yeah.
that.
No. Yeah. You can't. And the new Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's gonna come a point where,
Yeah.
just like we're doing with Professor X and all this
Mm-hmm.
shit, and filtering them out for the new breed and the new leaders, like Kitty Pryde,
Yeah.
you got to move on at some point. So you're telling me in 15, 20 years when they decide to make a Miss Marvel movie,
I remember Magneto.
They're not gonna go over it?
Magneto's Jewish. That's a
Yeah.
big part of his character too. Yeah.
so I mean, what do we think? Is this gonna are
Wasn't
the
that-
gates opening?
Wasn't that a big topic also in? I don't know. Is this a spoiler alert for Daredevil season 2
No.
about his religion?
I mean that's just the thing
Like
about.
how Punisher kept like putting him on the spot, like do what you got to do and stop listening to this so-called God of yours.
Something like that, but yeah, I mean that's the battle he has with himself.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
And I feel like religion comes out when like it's like very tense moments of like moral judgment, or like
yeah, yeah.
I mean, we talked about this in the Rebirth episodes where save, kill a few, save the greater good, like that type of thing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, yeah.
It's funny because it's the same idea. It's just that on one side they make it a religious thing, while the other side is just moral. Like for example, Daredevil and Batman.
Mm.
Batman doesn't kill, but that's because that's just something he refuses to do.
Yeah.
He believes in the justice system.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Daredevil,
He is Protestant though.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
And Daredevil, like granted, yeah, he is a lawyer, but he's not doing it because of the justice system. He's doing it because morally, in his faith, he's not supposed to kill.
Yeah. I mean, and I think that's the interesting dynamic of Daredevil is like he is religious, so it's like that gives you that moral conflict within his character.
Yeah, I think it's important for us to represent those like different religious beliefs, different orientations, different body sizes.
What about Scientology?
No,
Yeah,
Fuck
sure.
them. Move on. I'm joking.
Honestly,
if tomorrow they announced that Booster Gold is a Scientologist, I would fucking be down with it.
That makes sense though.
it makes
That'd be
perfect
so
sense
down.
for him
Yeah.
Yeah.
because he's
So-
been around, so maybe he knows some shit.
except he's not allowed to go anywhere except for the confines of the Scientology building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Ain't
They need
Scientology acknowledged
representation.
as an official religion now by
It
the United
is.
States
Yeah,
government?
they're like
Okay.
tax exempt.
Okay, so yeah, they are.
So that's the
acknowledged
main,
as- yeah.
main problem is that they own so much property and they're tax exempt.
Yeah,
And like,
I know. But years ago they were considered a cult, but I think so now they're.
no, they've been from the jump.
Oh yeah, but I'm saying, but the only difference between a religion and a cult is that the government acknowledges religion. So it's like if government approves of it, it's a religion. It's not a cult.
You got Leah Remy trying to expose them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, they got a fucking church in Harlem.
Do they?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No.
125th.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. They be giving out. Was it the dialect
No,
test or
and
whatever?
the crazy thing is like it's right next to this like community center that they had to build in order to build their church.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's clearly someone made a
And I
compromise.
remember I was like out there for like I forgot what it was, visiting a friend, and like I saw like a kid, black kid, fro and everything, Scientology, but I'm like, oh my god, they're recording
What?
over here.
Wow.
I'm like, no.
Got him.
Luke Cage, save him.
Yeah, right. Got him.
Tear down that building.
Fuck, I'm so hungover.
Man up, yo.
Oh,
Let's
okay.
go.
So going into that, we did say, let's see, what the fucking last question is asked? I'm sorry. The representation of other things. Yes.
Other things.
Other
Other
things.
things.
Going off of that, okay. Now we're gonna jump into something that we've talked about before in the last episode, which is pretty much this episode now.
Yeah. But
Um,
it's more appropriate that we do it
just
now.
yeah.
Yeah.
I recall asking, do we think that we're going to reach a point where the minority counterparts of a character are going to take the light? For example, Miles Morales coming into the fold more than Peter Parker.
Yes.
Do we think that he's going to become
Spider-Man,
when
like
people
the
think-
Spider-Man.
when
Yes.
people think Spider-Man. Do we think Miles is going to be the
Yes,
Spider-Man?
because at some point Peter will take, I think, in my opinion, an advisory role. He'll be more behind the scenes because now doesn't he? He's like a billionaire now. He has his own company, so it's like he doesn't need to be Spider-Man no more. He has money, so he could just help. He could train Miles. He could essentially Miles Morales could be Terry McGinnis, and Peter Parker could be Bruce Wayne. That could be the dynamic between the both of them going forward. You know.
I mean, I'm gonna disagree. I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I disagree because Marvel, especially with Marvel, their whole let's focus on the key characters. Marvel Legacy.
Yeah.
Let's spend how much ever money we have to make Marvel Legacy BC, so people can see what Tony Stark would have been doing as a caveman, or the Hulk as a caveman, or
Wait,
Thor
that's what they're doing
as
is
a
legacy for
caveman.
Legacy.
I think that's one of the first
Well, I
ones
get
that's
the
been
fuck out,
announced.
yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
So essentially, they're doing what they did to Batman when Darkseid quote unquote killed him, but he said he went back in time. So he was like Batman of the Stone Age.
Yeah, the Avengers fucking BC. The only one that makes sense is Black Panther, honestly, because I can like see that as a kind of type of cavemanish character. You know, he's got like the panther skin on. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't seem like Marvel is really trying to focus on the more minor characters, smaller counterparts like Miles
I think
Morales,
that's
even though they're really shooting for it.
I think that's the opportunity that's they're missing it. It's a missed
No, I
opportunity.
feel like there are.
That's-
There's several characters like there are new characters that they have comics for that are
Yeah.
minorities.
Yeah,
You know?
and what is it? The last Spider-Man cartoon, Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I mean, his team was that's cool. What is it? White Tiger. She was Hispanic, you know. So it was like, okay, cool. And the new the Nova what's the new Nova's name? Yeah, but he I'm not sure if he's Mexican, but I know he's from New Mexico. But I think I want to say his family's Mexican. So yeah, so I'm like, you know, he's a minority as well.
But the point is, like, they're doing it not just to do it for the you know, the sake of diversity. It's like they know that they need to. They have the kind of like the duty to, like, you know, tell other stories from different perspectives.
They have to, yeah.
Because, you know, there are people out there that not really rely, but, like, you know, they have comics to go on because, like, they see a part of themselves in that character. So, like, who are they to, like, not tell the story of, like, you know, somebody from the Bronx or, like, somebody from Queens, you know, like...
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh, speaking of the Bronx, another thing we talked about in the last episode. Where the Bronx at? Where the Bronx at in comics? Marvel,
Circus
DC,
Society,
and everyone.
up in 230,
Yeah.
what, 238th in Broadway?
Yeah, alright. Would you like to elaborate, considering half the people listening to this, majority of people listening to this, don't know about it?
Circus Society is a group of villains. I think they're more associated with Captain America than any other hero. But they're all from the Bronx. Or they operate in the Bronx. I'm not sure they're all from the Bronx, but they have a base in the Bronx. And according to the comics, I believe it's on 238th and Broadway.
Alright, but
Which is like a few blocks away from the IHOP.
my question to you is...
That's where they meet.
They meet at IHOP.
My question to you is would you consider that proper representation of the Bronx community? I mean, we have...
No, because I'm cool with having a villain group in the Bronx, because if they were big, sure, because that puts the Bronx on the map or whatever, but they're not big, they're rarely used, you know, but I don't know, to me, I have no problem with villains coming from the Bronx, like I really don't, as long as they're major characters.
Yeah.
You know, and they actually, like, I was born in the Bronx. The reason I'm a villain is because I was poor. You know, my mom left, my dad left, whatever. I'm like, all right, cool, because, like, you know, these are typical urban stories that, you know, we all know somebody who dealt with this or we dealt with it ourselves. You know, so yeah.
No, I think, like, there's just not people writing these stories, so, like, it's got, you know, we gotta foster that kind of, I would say, creativity with people that are from the Bronx in this area, you know, to, like, you know, go out and, like, go pursue that dream of, like, being a comic book writer and write your stories, because it's interesting and it's, you know, it'll resonate with many people that were in your same position from your area.
And two major comic book figures, Bronx. Stan Lee was raised in the Bronx. The guy who was it, I think Bob Kane, the guy who created Batman, he's from the Bronx.
Yeah,
Batman was born in the Bronx.
Clearly, they didn't care. Not just kidding. They probably just didn't think.
Yeah,
they
but I'm
would
saying,
receive
but you know what I'm
something
saying is, like, clearly the Bronx is very important in the comic book history, because you have two major figures that came from the Bronx. It was like, all right, like, where's the recognition? Like, let's go.
Now's the time.
Queens get played all the time. Brooklyn gets played all the time.
Harlem.
Manhattan is always blowing up. You know.
Literally. Now more than ever.
Yeah,
We're left alone. That's fine.
that's why leave us alone. And
Yeah.
that don't come up here. Don't come uptown. It's
Because
fine.
they don't want to. They know better.
Ain't nothing blowing up.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, man, I think we will. I think hopefully maybe soon we'll probably get a few Bronx heroes.
I mean, and I'm sure there are several comics out there, a lot of indie comics
Oh,
out
yeah,
there
of
that
course.
do
Yeah,
follow like people in the Bronx, but specifically like a hero in the Bronx would be probably beneficial to kids here. I think.
Yeah, of course.
Think about the importance again, Luke Cage, the importance of him wearing a hoodie.
Not even that,
Well,
but in the
wholesome.
show they stress that
Yeah.
Harlem.
Yeah.
They always stress it.
Mhm.
Harlem, So
Harlem.
it's like, all right,
And it's not like they're just like, oh yeah, he's in Harlem.
No, I mean,
it's filmed there. They're constantly talking about
they,
it. The villains are from there.
They always stress it.
It's a big part
Harlem.
of the show.
Yeah.
It's also a big part of the comics.
Also, shout out to the writers and the casting people for Luke Cage, because the Asian couple that own that restaurant, they don't have fucking accents like crazy.
Seriously.
Yeah,
Yeah, like every other fucking show that's like on ABC and NBC, they have like fucking the
Most
most
broken ass.
Yeah.
stereotypical
No, it's true,
accents
yeah.
ever.
yep. Mm-hmm. Now I just want to talk about the show. That show was awesome.
Yeah, no, I mean, diversity in comics. What better fucking time to talk about it? Well, before we go to talking about white supremacy next week,
Right?
we're not going to do that.
No, we're not.
No.
I refuse to have a
no.
whole episode where we're just
We're not gonna do that.
focusing on something no one cares about.
No.
But yeah, there are a lot of stories to celebrate, a lot of stories out there that, people haven't written yet, and we just gotta wait and see. And I encourage anybody that listens to this, if you got a story about your own community or anything like that, that can take comic book form,
Yeah,
go ahead and write it. There's nothing stopping you. The
Exactly.
technology's out there to do it.
it's very easy.
It's
You just
very
need
easy.
ambition and commitment.
And you got the internet behind
Yeah,
you.
exactly.
Post it out there. If it's a good story, it's gonna hit.
Someone's
If
gonna
it's a
pick it
terrible
up.
story, people will tell you about it really quickly.
Yeah, the internet is not shy.
Yeah.
Spawn, he's black.
Spawn, yeah.
He's black.
There we go.
Oh.
Remember John Leguizamo playing the bad guy?
Yeah, that was the best part of the movie.
Aren't they redoing the movie?
But this time was it Todd McFarlane, and he's
Yeah.
gonna direct it. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh shit. But that might not work though, because remember we had what's his name? The guy that did Sin City. What's his name?
Bob Rodriguez, you directed it.
No, I'm sorry, not Sin City.
Frank Miller.
The Shadow, not the Shadow. What's the one that we always like? You did it. You ran down the street. As him.
Oh, El Espíritu, the spirit.
The Spirit. Yeah, what was his name? The guy who directed The Spirit. He's a famous Batman, Daredevil.
Frank Miller, wasn't it?
Frank Miller. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like that might not necessarily translate. You might be good in comic books, but movies is a whole different world.
Yeah. No, but look, this is the thing.
Wasn't it exactly like the comic?
I love The Spirit.
Yeah.
I had no problem with The Spirit.
So good.
I love
It was
The Spirit.
exactly like the comic, and people were like hating on it. I'm like, why?
Same thing as Watchmen. Watchmen was exactly like the comics.
Except for the ending.
Except for the ending.
Yeah.
But I agree they changed it. But you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
More and more I watch the movie, I like it.
Right?
This is the thing. Just go out there and write. Like,
Just do it.
write,
Just do it.
draw. Just do what you want. Like, if it's your passion, do it. Because if you don't, someone else will.
Exactly. It's true.
The fact
And
of the
also, I'm
matter.
pretty sure if you got friends out there that are artists, they're probably willing to work with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Very true.
Luke Cage, though. Oh my god.
I know.
So good. And Mike Coulter is.
He's awesome.
He's awesome. I mean, I was Luke Cage for Halloween, so.
I know, and you look like a damn fool.
And I look like a damn fool.
You're a power man.
I was Power
Yeah, he was Power
I
Man.
was specifically
He was Power
You,
Man.
you weren't like new Luke Cage. You were Power
He
Man.
did not have the hoodie with
Yeah.
the holes.
Maybe I should do
You had the
that. I would
70s look.
I would have to cut my hair off to be actually Luke Cage. That show is so important, though, man.
It is.
And Method Man was in it.
That's why I think Black Panther is going to be so important to Phase 3 of Marvel.
Why?
So important. I think, I don't know, I think,
Not because I'm like Chris. I just
No.
don't know what Phase 3 is.
because I think right now, because we know Chris Evans, once Avengers 4 is done, he's gone. RDJ, he might not be necessarily gone, but I doubt there's going to be an Iron Man 4. He'll probably just do what he's been doing, like, just come in other people's movies for, like, a small
Pop up
role.
and do it.
Yeah. But
Unless
Phase...
his boy John Favreau comes back.
That's true.
Yeah.
Phase 4 and beyond needs two faces, you know?
Yeah.
So for Phase 1, 2, and 3, the Thanos saga, you had the main faces were Captain America and Iron Man, right? Those are the two main faces. So I think whatever saga they're going to take might be the Skrulls because of so they might go into Secret War. They might do that.
And Captain Marvel's supposed to take place
Before
everything.
So they might do Secret War, but so if they're gonna go that route, fine. But they need a face. So I think the two faces are gonna be Doctor Strange and Black Panther. Black Panther is gonna pop up in a bunch of other people's movies, even though he doesn't care. Okay, he don't care about nothing.
He's all about his nation.
I don't care. He's still gonna show up though, even though he doesn't care.
Don't care.
Well, that's interesting because Doctor Strange is like it's Benedict. Like that's just wild. It's like
Perfect
that's all I have to
casting.
fucking say. Like that's just
Like it
wild.
was so obvious. I thought that wasn't gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, I still prayed a bit for Daniel Day-Lewis, but I knew that was never going
wanted
to happen.
Joaquin Phoenix.
He's done with acting.
Joaquin is
When they talked about Joaquin Phoenix, that they wanted for Doctor Strange, I'm like, all right, I'm with it.
No.
Yeah, I think they went
But see, it was so to me, it was so crazy. It would have worked. I'm like, I'm so with it. Let's do it.
I don't think I could have seen that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if the articles are true, but what I read, he was just uncomfortable with not only the commitment, but just like the whole green screen and how everything was CGI. I'm like, cool.
Yeah,
Respect that.
No. He knows what his limitations are. If you're not comfortable with it, don't do it. Respect
Also,
it.
you might revert back to his character in the
my
mockumentary.
Fucking beard.
Yeah. Starts rapping.
But think about it, man. If Joaquin Phoenix was Doctor Strange,
That
it was some crazy shit.
Weird. That would have been so weird.
Right? It would have been some crazy shit. Yeah.
And we haven't seen anything from him yet for Thor Ragnarok.
Who?
Doctor Strange.
No.
He's supposed to have a big part in it too.
Well,
we haven't seen
because
that shit.
if you've seen the end of spoilers, you've seen the end of Doctor Strange. The after credit scene is him talking to Thor, looking for Odin. And he was like, "I'll help you if it makes you leave New York City."
Yeah.
So,
Goddamn.
yeah.
Like, yeah, Thor Ragnarok kind of confuses me because like it goes from like the Thor series was a little serious, then it takes like a fun like James Gunn turn. I'm like, what is going on here?
Yeah,
That's
it does.
right.
It does. It does. Yeah.
What are we learning now? Is that space is fun? Everything
Space is
Seriously,
fun.
everything in space is great.
Don't take yourself
man.
too seriously. Like, just don't.
Have you
Also-
seen the fucking like the leaks of the Avengers shit?
Which one?
Of the Avengers? The fuck am I talking about? The Infinity Gauntlet.
What leaks?
The leak.
There's a lot of them.
Have you seen some of it? Some of the footage? Or have
Thanos
you-
throwing a planet, yo.
Have you seen the fucking Thor landing on the Milano?
Delano.
Yeah,
Alyssa?
the Guardians ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Guardians.
Oh.
ship. He lands
Oh,
on
yeah,
the
yeah,
ship
yeah.
and fucking
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Rocket
yeah.
Raccoon's like,
Yeah,
"Yo,
yeah.
get off of there."
Yeah.
It's gonna be amazing.
Also, shout out to James Gunn for Guardians of the Galaxy because like that was a very diverse.
I still haven't seen
Oh,
Cat
yeah.
2. Still
You
haven't seen 2.
Guardians 2?
Haven't seen it.
Jesus, man.
Haven't seen it.
I'm
I'm
waiting
waiting.
on the first one.
Oh my
I'm waiting to
God.
rent it. I think it comes out like in 2 weeks. I'm like, alright, I'm gonna rent it.
I can't yell at you though because I haven't seen Spider-Man and I'm like a really big.
Oh my god! Dude, Spider-Man's amazing.
I'm a really big Spider-Man fan.
Spider-Man's
That's like-
amazing.
Dominicans are
That's
making
like-
a big wave in Marvel Universe.
I'm probably gonna go like. sometime
Even though
this week.
Zendaya was there for like how long?
But she had a good role. She had a major part though.
Okay.
Yeah, she was funny. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to see it sometime this
I got
week.
Dude,
I have the time.
Dude,
now.
Michael Keaton. He's up there, one of the best villains. He's up
Alfred
there.
Molina's still the best Spider-Man villain we've ever gotten.
Who?
Alfred Molina as
Doc-
Otto.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Nah, man.
Vulture gives him a run.
They
Vulture
took one of-
is
They took
awesome.
one of Spider-Man's worst villains in
Seriously.
the comics and made him one of the best
He's
villains
a
in the Marvel
he's a
movie scene,
badass.
period.
Vulture is
And I'm
awesome.
happy because I got the fucking first issue that Vulture shows up.
Nice. That's gonna be worth something.
Yeah.
But for real, dude.
Thanks, Michael Keaton.
Vulture is awesome. They turn him into a complete badass.
See, now I have to go watch it.
You have to. It's
And my boy
to me
Vito
that's
is in it,
that's
so-
top 3. But that's one of my top 3 Marvel movies. I can't tell you what order, but my top 3 is Winter Soldier, Civil War, Spider-Man.
Man,
Yeah, I can't tell you in the exact order. I'm still figuring it out myself, but that's definitely top 3 for me.
Civil War was so good. Guardians was so good. Man,
To me, Guardians is 4. Guardians. I bumped down Guardians because of Homecoming.
I'll give my list another day. I need some time to think about it.
I'm telling you, like to me, Homecoming just ruined my list. I'm like, I don't know where to put this movie. Like it's so good. I don't know where to put this movie. No,
Wow.
no.
Luke Cage, though.
Luke Cage though.
Yeah, you see, if only they could do that, what they did with that show and that character, and do something like that with the Bronx. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean, they got to come up with a important character from the Bronx.
Dang it, bro.
Yeah.
Just take somebody to write it. That's all it is.
Yeah, that's it.
Or we're like probably a little too schmiz to think about something a little bit deeper and see like what in the Marvel catalog is actually out there.
I don't think. I mean, I looked it up a while back. I don't think there was. I think it was going to be just a surface society that operate in the Bronx.
Yeah, I feel like we've tried to find it for a while now.
I mean, it might be one, but I wasn't able to look it up. So I'm not saying that there isn't any. I wasn't able to look it up.
So we have the characters like Luke Cage getting their big break. We have
Black
Strong.
Panther.
We have Black Panther coming out soon.
Falcon
We
is an
have-
important member of the Avengers.
Yeah, that's
So,
true. People
yeah.
just usually never.
Yeah, but Falcon is very
mention it,
important.
but he is.
Very important. Yeah.
Especially now with Secret Empire. I mean, he is
Yeah.
Captain
yeah.
America.
And Anthony Mackie, he's hilarious.
Yeah,
Like he's perfect for that role. Yeah.
We have strong female representation of the Wonder Woman movie.
Wonder Woman,
Being a great
Black.
success.
You got Black Widow and Captain Marvel coming
Captain
out.
Marvel
So yeah,
coming out.
women are in there.
So-
They're in there.
Hey, what's his name? Reno. He says he wants to make a standalone series of the backstory of Hawkeye and Black Widow.
So
Yeah,
we
because there's so many fucking.
Cause we still don't
they
know.
always make the
Yeah.
reference.
We still don't know what happened in Budapest.
Exactly.
We have no idea what.
No.
what
You
went
and
down
I
in
remember Budapest very differently.
I want to see what happened in Budapest.
We're never gonna find out.
They're never gonna find out what
Marvel
happened
should
in
just have a secret movie. Just call it Budapest,
yeah.
That would be.
and just announce it like the day before it releases, like Budapest.
Yeah.
Here it is, guys.
Like, oh shit, it's a story.
Yeah. Or not even just have like a regular like movie about Budapest, and all of a sudden like halfway through the movie, shit goes down, and here comes Black Widow and Hawkeye saving the day. Like,
Yeah,
fuck?
Oh wow!
Yeah. What the fuck? What this movie came to?
That's another thing, actually. Hawkeye. Now that you mentioning it, the Hawkeye comics presently
They're really good.
follow a female Hawkeye. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not Jeremy Renner.
Yeah.
It's not fucking.
What is it? Clint
It's not Clint.
Barton.
It's not Clint Barton, and her character is a lot more because he's always kind of been like, "Oh, I'm good. Like I'm good at what I do.
I'm alright.
Yeah.
My aim's good and shit." She's more like, "I'm good, but I'm not like great.
Yeah.
Like I'm just still learning what it is to be a hero and shit."
Yeah. I mean, and then that's the same
Careful!
thing.
Don't use that H word.
Ooh.
Don't be using that H word.
That's
Again,
That's
I'm
your-
only 20 minutes in,
That's your word.
but
what I was gonna say. Forgot.
yeah, no one cares what you're gonna say.
I think it's not for the shop.
That's not happening. That's not happening. Maybe next week.
John, who said go out and party like you 21, yo?
Man, it's not my fault. Stanley told me to come through, and I came through. He wanted to go in last night, so we were having a few shots together.
Yeah.
Stanley is,
he
of
said
course,
it was
my. Stanley is, of course, a figment of my imagination.
I mean, he's a real person, so
He's not a person. He's a
But,
guy.
but he is, you know.
this version of him is not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're doing okay. I think we're doing okay in the world of diversity in comics.
We're getting there.
We're
getting there.
every week. I think we're inching closer.
We are,
to-
of course. 10 years, Avengers are gonna look a whole lot different. Probably Justice League 2
Bunch of niggas. That's all it's gonna be.
and Spix.
We're allowed to say all that.
Yeah, we're Spanish. We can say that.
And I'm black, so I can say what I want.
Dike.
Yeah.
Afro-Latino, I can do what I want.
Dike.
All right, on to closing statements. All right. Closing statements. One last thing you'd like to say about the diversity in comics. Anything from concerns, compliments, whatever you'd like. We'll start off with Zaku.
I mean, so far we're in a good place, honestly. There's not much to say in terms of what I would like to see, since they seem to be doing a good job at it. Just be careful and not to abuse it, and eventually it becomes to the point where people are going to start saying, man, I want to see less diversity. Because that can happen. Too much of a good thing will always become bad. So, as long as they keep it coming out at a decent pace.
If it makes sense.
Yeah. And yeah, it has to make sense.
Yeah.
Sometimes it makes sense if they choose not to.
Wake up the next day, Captain America's black. How did this happen? Don't ask questions. Just read the goddamn comic.
Well, sometimes it happens.
Well, I mean, the first Captain America was black. He was the test subject. So he wasn't Steve Rogers, but he was still part of the program.
Yeah.
They had to test on a black guy first.
It's World War II. You know, different time back then.
I'll go next for the sake of you.
No. I'm not gonna say you go next. Sterling goes next.
No. I was gonna go next because what I have to say probably won't matter. So I was gonna say two best for
right.
last, and you started us off. So you also are.
I was gonna say no one gives a fuck.
Damn. All right, I'm just gonna not say shit.
All right, Sterling, go ahead.
No. No, I think it's I said this earlier, but it is important for people to just go out there and write, do what you're passionate about, draw, because the best way for diversity to have a place in comics is for you to make that place.
Yep.
So if you see a problem, then make a way out of that problem.
And my closing statement is kind of like has to echo what you have to say, where it's like, you know, if you want to be a comic writer, go and do it. If you see a problem with it, then go and change it. Change only starts with you. That's what it is. And, you know, once you're in there, you let your voice be heard, or like your story speaks for itself and it has all these followers or like these people wanting more, you know, people are going to see that and they're going to want a part of it. So go out and do that. And also these big publishers like Marvel and DC, you know, like they're gonna churn out like, you know, more diverse characters and things like that, but I hope it's in like an organic way versus like, you know, forcing it down everybody, you know, where it doesn't make any sense or like it's not very popular. Like it has to happen in an organic way, or it has to like fill like some sort of void that they see like, all right, we have this certain this certain group of people that want this certain type of character.
Yep.
Let's create something like that. Or like we have this person that has this raw talent that we want to bring in to make these stories.
Yep.
Last but definitely least,
my closing statement is: don't fuck with Black Panther. Just don't.
Don't
No
fuck
pressure.
him.
Don't fuck him up.
No pressure.
Don't fuck
this
don't,
up.
Yeah. Don't
Trust
fuck
me,
up the
they're not
movie.
gonna fuck it up.
I'm just saying.
They're not gonna fuck
Like
it
the
up.
trailer got everybody hyped. You know, my love for Run the Jewels, like it's times 100 after the trailer. I liked them before, but I love them now because of the trailer. I'm like, don't fuck this up. Like, don't.
Not after the shirts that Killer Mike designed?
What happened?
After the shirts that...
And I'm glad you showed me them shirts. It's awesome.
The shirts we're talking about is it's in a site called Daylight Curfew, and Killer Mike from Run the Jewels designed them, where it has a scoreboard featuring a Confederate flag with 0, and United States with 1,
Yeah.
and the time on the scoreboard says 1840 something.
Yeah.
Great. And shout outs. Anyone can start.
Shout outs to Donald Trump. Keep fucking it up so we have more shit to talk about.
Yeah. Keep influencing the culture renaissance that we're having.
I called it.
Of course.
I called it in my fucking after the election where I was super wasted.
You're gonna
And
have
it was
culture
real- I was like, yo,
renaissance.
we're gonna have all these albums coming out.
Yeah.
We're gonna have all these movies coming out. It's gonna be dope.
Yeah. Exactly. Shout out to all the listeners.
Shout out to all
Yeah,
the
thanks,
listeners.
guys.
Yeah, and if you're, I hope this podcast helps you in some sort of way to like, you know, get back into comics or get into comics or start writing your own comic because, you know, nowadays we gotta do our own thing, and usually if it's hot, it's gonna start catching fire. And you got yourself
social
a little,
media for making it so easy.
yeah, you got yourself a little empire going off there.
Mm-hmm. Not the secret empire. We don't want that.
Careful.
And if you have any ideas out there, or you have any comic books that you think that you're writing or working on, or your friends are working on, send it our way. We'll take a look and we'll read and we'll buy.
Definitely.
You gotta support the
Seriously.
culture.
Yeah. Exactly.
Shout out to the niggas that got Steve Bannon out of there. Appreciate it.
Yeah, Trump is next.
Thank you.
Update your bingo cards, guys.
Shout out to anyone who's fighting injustice out there. You guys are the real heroes. Facts.
Wait, hold on. Actual injustice, not the game.
Actual
Yeah.
injustice,
Actual
not the
injustice, not the game.
We gotta be careful. We gotta be careful.
words. Gotta use the right ones. Yeah. Shout out to anyone who's just fighting off these threats. They're just crazy. I mean,
Fighting off
there's
these
so
bombs.
much. There's so much wrong out there. It takes a lot of courage to
Yeah. We're in
physically, mentally put yourself out
our
there.
country's in a time of transition, so we got to make sure we keep progressing.
Yeah.
Just saying, I'm not afraid to punch a Nazi.
Just
No-
make sure
no
you
one
have a
should be afraid
strong
of punching
fist
Nazi.
and your wrist is
Just
not.
yeah, don't break
Remember
the
that
wrist.
photo? Like there's a photo.
Oh
of, like,
yeah,
that dude punch-
he pushed him like this, and
and everybody's like, no, that's
no.
not.
Yeah,
It was
I
like
oppose
the
this way.
headline. The headline was like, okay, this picture is so wrong. The way you're punching him will hurt you
you're gonna
more.
break your wrist. Yeah. Also, another. Don't be afraid to punch a Nazi. Just like
Duff a Nazi.
Duff a Nazi.
Duff
That's
a
it.
Nazi.
Hashtag. We got that. Gonna be a hashtag on this episode. Duff a Nazi.
The finance.
That
There we
originated
go.
from the Kid Marrow.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll tag him too.
Alright, I guess that's it for shoutouts unless anyone has one more they want to drop out. Thanks for listening, guys. Make sure to subscribe to Earth 718. Follow, like, share,
Give us
comment.
give us feedback because we actually want to make this thing as serious as
Yes.
possible.
Yeah.
So.
We hear people want us to put some music beforehand.
So until
Wait, what? Who said that?
Justin, shout out to Justin.
Okay.
Said that we would definitely.
Like an intro?
Yeah, have some nice, like, music
we
on
need to
it.
work on the intro.
Well, we also hear people want a logo as well.
Okay, we're working on that. We are working on that.
We're gonna
so,
clean
yes.
things up.
All right.
I have a lot of time this week, so I'm gonna try to clean things up.
Okay.
But yeah, thanks for listening, and we hope to see you guys for another
if
issue.
y'all want us to
next
stay
week.
on topic, let us know too. Because
That
if you don't
too.
stay on topic, we're gonna keep.
We
going
take
on topic.
recommendations. So
Yeah, we love.
we've
to
done
get
it
stuff
before
on
with
top.
Rebirth, so we could do it again with anything else.
Hey, anybody out there listening, be as critical as you want. We want you to enjoy this show.
We ain't no bitches.
Yeah, we
If
want
you
you to
want-
enjoy this show. We want to make it better for you.
If you want to tell us to suck dick, I mean, we're not gonna do it, but
I made.
well,
Hey, all right.
I mean,
some of
You
us
never
take into
know.
consideration.
But yeah, thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys next week on another episode of another issue. of
Issue.
Earth
Issue.
718.
Music.